foreign direct investment, FDI. I've been reading this term in headlines recently, and it seems that FDI in China has drastically reduced. What's going on?
Investments always go where they get the best return. When I studied business administration, the professor said an investment is nothing but a cash flow. First you have a cash outflow, build a factory, because you hope that later that investment will pay you back more than you spent. And of course, you expect some profit margin is calculated through a return on investment. For the moment this return on investment is too low, you don't invest anymore. If we now see that Western countries like the US, like European countries, big countries like Germany, car industry, if we see that this is declining, it says a lot about the investors' expectation for returns in China.
So it implies that foreign investors are not so optimistic about the China market anymore. And that's why they're reducing their investments in this market.
Yes, that's what it says. There are many reasons for that. The prospects for an investment here in China by a foreign investor is very different now than it was, let's say, 5 to 10 years ago.
Okay. What's changed?
Many things changed. First, China had breathtaking growth rates of over 10% in some years. And that is flattening because every economy comes to that point. When China opened up, like, let's say, 80s, 90s, it had a huge demand from the decades before when it was not open. So that kind of demand has been satisfied now. Roads have been built, airports have been built, high-speed railway has been built. The people all have their cell phone, they have their apartments. The standard of living is very different now than it was 20 years ago. It's much higher. The other reason is that state-owned enterprises, with the support of the government, are pushing aside the private companies, local private companies, but also foreign private companies.
How do they do that? How do they?
Many ways. Access to capital,
Yeah.
loans,
Yeah.
permits, business licenses, easier to get. Make it tough for the others to import. There are many ways to make life difficult for someone.
Yeah.
And there are many ways to make life easier for others.
It sounds quite unfair in many ways.
You know, this is a moral question that I cannot answer. Important is, if you have sponsored local heroes, and not only China does it, France does the same.
Yeah.
You always have a disadvantage for the consumers. For many years, actually, China was one of the easiest places to do business in Asia. You go to Thailand, many people love Thailand, it's a beautiful country, you do vacation. You want to invest in Thailand? Good luck. There's so many restrictions. As a matter of fact, America is now a huge destination for foreign direct investments.
Okay.
You know, people are surprised because with all the issues they have and the cost disadvantages they have, but you can, as a foreign company, have more freedom to operate, and competition is maintained in the US. One other thing I need to mention is, to be fair and have a more balanced view, local Chinese companies became more competitive. I mean, they have learned the technologies. They are more price competitive. Look at Xiaomi products. They're also very popular in Western countries now, and some of these products are quite decent. So the market is just more mature, more competitive, and that also plays a role. The people working in these multinational corporations that are located in China are 99% Chinese, sometimes 100%. So to say it's a local or foreign company, it doesn't matter for the employment, you know. As a matter of fact, I think multinationals employing people here are very good employers. The management culture is better, fair, and I think they also pay better. In this situation where you have a system like mercantile system where you produce, you're allowed to production, they can export, but please don't see China as a destination market for your products, is not helpful. And investors now say, okay, I have very high costs of doing business.
Yeah.
Importing products is expensive. Labor costs are going up. The cost for rents, land going up. Taxation is high in China.
Yeah.
China is a high tax country, and it wasn't 20 years ago. There were many exceptions and favors, but that is not the case anymore.